All right, this is number 22 on the practice midterm. For what values of x would a triangle have a perimeter of at least 72 inches if the second side is 11 more than the first side and the third side is 5 more than twice the first side? Now, there's no indication about what to do with what x represents. So we're going to have to start off by defining what x is standing for. But as we read this problem, there's a couple of things that should jump out. One of them is that there are multiple unknowns. So we're talking about a triangle. So I'm going to just start off by just drawing a triangle. And I'll just label the sides 1, 2, and 3. All right, so we have first side, second side, and third side. So we have 3 unknowns. One of those we're going to call x. Now, if we go back to the problem, the second half of the problem, if the second side is 11 more than the first side, well, that's important. And then we also have another statement, the third side is 5 more than twice the first side. So let me pull those 2 statements out. Second side, so let's say second side is 11 more than the first side. Okay, so is, in a word problem, so it acts like an equal sign. So the second side equals 11 more than, so that's plus 11, the first side. And we're also told, so this is, let's say, call that statement number 1, and statement number 2 is that the third side is 5 more than twice the first side. All right, so it looks like if we know the first side, we could add 11 and get the second side. And if we know the first side, we could double it, twice the first side, and then add 5 to get the third side. So if we get side number 1, that will give us side 2 and side 3. So let's go ahead and let x equal the length of the first side. And now we have 3 unknowns: length of the first side, length of the second side, and length of the third side. Now we definitely don't want to use 3 variables x, y, and z, because then we need a system of 3 equations, and it's much more complicated than it needs to be. We'll just stick with the variable x, and we'll express symbolically the length of the second side and length of third side based on these 2 statements up here. So the second side, the length of the second side, is 11 more than the first side. So we could take the first side and add 11 to it, and that will give us the length of the second side. And then the second statement up here, the third side is 5 more than twice the first side. So twice the first side will be 2x, 2 times the first side. And then 5 more than that, so we'll add a 5 plus 5. So now we've represented each of the 3 sides symbolically. Now this is important, and this is maybe the hardest part of the problem. All right, so now we could label our triangle x plus 11, and 2x plus 5. Okay, so we're still just setting things up. So now let's go back to the problem. What exactly are we looking for? For what values of x would the triangle have a perimeter of at least 72? So at least, that's That's an inequality. At least means equal to 72 or more than 72. So that's going to be a greater than or equal symbol, and then we've got 72. Now, perimeter. Perimeter means we add up all of the sides. The perimeter of any shape is the sum of the lengths of the sides. So we have three sides up here labeled in red. So first side, x, plus the second side, which is x plus 11, plus the third side, which is 2x plus 5. So there is the perimeter based on how we have this labeled above. All right, so now there is our algebraic equation. Well, in this case, it's an algebraic inequality. Now it's no longer a word problem. We've taken the words and we've translated it to this statement down here using the language of mathematics. And now we could solve for x. So if we look at the left-hand side, we've got x, x, and 2x. It looks like a total of 4 x's. So 4x plus, we've got an 11 and a 5, so that's plus 16 is greater than or equal to 72. We want to get x by itself. We want to isolate the x. So eliminate the plus 16 and eliminate the times 4 to eliminate something on one side of an equation or an inequality. We do the opposite. So the opposite of plus 16, minus 16. They're equal and opposite, so they cancel. And on the left-hand side, we're down to only a 4x. And to maintain balance, if we change one side, we have to change the other side in the same way. So we'll subtract 16 from the right-hand side. And well, 72 minus 16 will give us 56. All right, let's zoom in so we get a little bit more room down at the bottom. All right, now the x is being multiplied by 4. We want to eliminate that times 4. So we do, again, the opposite, which is divide by 4. So the times 4, the divide by 4, they cancel, and now we have x by itself. We've isolated the variable. Again, what we do to one side, we have to change the other side in exactly the same way. We divided the left by 4, so we have to divide the right by 4. And 56 divided by 4 will give us 14. So for what values of x would the triangle have a perimeter of at least 72 inches? And we're told specifically to express our answer as an inequality. Here's our inequality, so we could just go ahead and circle that. That is our answer. All right, that does it for problem 22.